at 85, 86 degrees, 100% humidity. Today we are at, I don't know, I think I woke up, it was 62 degrees, and the humidity was way down in the real comfortable side, maybe 30, 40, 50%, which for us is like the dry day. It was a little chilly out there. Uh, for the people that live here in Carolina, been here for a while, it it means sweater weather. Sweater weather. Can you say that? Sweater weather? No, it's sweater weather. So I'm glad you're with us. If you have anybody moving in, please, we do run a real estate brokerage here, Flanagan Home Team. Happy to get your referrals, and of course, we'll treat them like family. You will not be embarrassed that you sent them here. Okay. What are we doing today? We're going to be talking about buyer presentations. Why? I think a lot of agents, especially new agents and agents that aren't performing well in the business, what stops them is the uncertainty of not having what the other guys have. It's the fear that they're not going to come across as a professional because they don't have the glossy handouts. They don't have the billboards. They don't have radio and TV and all the other stuff. Well, I say Boulder Dash. Boulder Dash, I say. All you need is yourself, a good handle on what questions you're going to ask. Every great salesperson asks a lot of questions. And when you sit down to do a buyer consultation with a prospect, somebody that's looking to buy a home with you, there are questions that you need to ask, and that's what we're going to go over today. And you can use any kind of buyer consultation as long as you get these questions asked. Now, why a buyer consultation? Let's get into that first. What is it that drives a buyer? The buyer comes in, he gets on the phone, I want to see X, Y, and Z. Now, in some places, in some teams, and in some agents, they go, I'll meet you at the house, and they're running down to go to the house. I guess I'm a little old school. Maybe I'm a little bit more aware that I work for myself, and time is money, right? Got two things we deal with, time and money. And time is money. If I'm going out and I'm being a star agent and I'm running from house to house, letting people that I don't know can even buy that house, letting them in the house, walking them through, you ready to write a contract? Sure, let's write a contract. We write a contract, and now you have to ask them, are they ready? Have they seen a finance? I'm not that guy. I want to know you're qualified before I go out and do the house. So that's why we do a buyer consultation. A buyer consultation should take you 45 minutes to an hour. You're actually building a relationship within that 45 minutes to an hour. You're getting to know them. They're getting to know you. Are you going to be able to work together? How's it going to work? What's the expectations? That's what a buyer consult is. And I'll be happy to get deeper into that. It's more than half an hour show. I'll be happy to get deeper into that. Right now, we're going to do the five things you need to know. Oh, I just took myself offline. There we go. All right. Thank you. Welcome to Fridays with Flanagan. Power Onward is my coaching company. We do individual, private, and team coaching. Drop me a line if you want to know more about that. Join me as I pull back the curtain on some of the best kept secrets of the real estate world. Each week, we dive into what's happening in the market and how we as professional real estate agents should be responding. What's happening in the market? We have a little bit of seasonality coming along. I've heard a lot of people going, oh, we're starting to slow down. Well, yeah, we're finally back into seasonality. Over the summer, we had a buildup at the end of the summer, which is normal, of listings. That's normal. That's an annual type thing. We had a buildup of the listings, and then come September, all of a sudden people start reducing prices because they realize that they're overpriced for condition, for market, and everything else. So our inventory, thankfully, went up without new home sales. We were sitting at about 950. We're up to just about 1,300 homes, resale homes, not new homes. We're about 1,300 homes. That's still a very small number of homes on the market, but you're seeing those homes starting to adjust to the fall market. So are we going into a crash? No. Is the inventory going to shoot to 10,000? Doubtful. Will it increase over the next 3 months? Of course. Okay. So that's the market update. Let's get back into the five secrets that you need to have. 5 questions you need to ask on the five questions to find your buyer's motivation. This is the important part. Why do we want to find the buyer's motivation? Emotions sell, right? We want to know what their motivation is. Why are they moving out of this house? Why are they buying a new house? Why are they selling that house? This is all about motivation on the buyer's point. Are they coming in to take a new job? Are they coming in to live next to grandma? Is grandma coming in to live next to the kids? Real important to find their motivation early in your conversation. So let's just read through this real quick. Buyer's motivation. Now we're talking to the buyer now, right? I'm sitting there, I got a piece of paper in front of me, and this is what it says on that piece of paper. Your needs drive how and when we find your next home. From this day forward, everything I do will be motivated by your goals and how you imagine your life taking place in your new home. Once I get an understanding of where you see yourself finding your dream home, we'll move quickly and with minimal interruptions to your daily life. What does this mean? It says, hey, I want to know more about you. As a salesperson, this is where I'm going to find my motivation in these people, right? Once I understand what their needs are, we can go forward. Roll that finger the wrong way, Greg. So the first question you want to ask them is, what's the one thing that has to happen to make that dream scenario a reality? Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, what needs to happen to make the dream set? Well, you know what, Greg? What needs to happen is that we need to find a house that's perfect for us. We need to sell our other house. We need to make sure the job's on the line. We need to make sure that Betsy's going to college at Charleston and that she finds the right place. Whatever that need is, that's what has to happen to make the dream scenario a reality. All right. Any questions there? All right. Number 2 question. How can I make that happen for you? Greg, you can show us all the homes on the market that we need to see. You can help us find financing. You can help us walk us through the inspection process, through the contract. Make sure it's not stressful for us. Make sure that my mother has a room. Whatever that need is, how can I make that happen for you? Number 3, why is that important to you? It's important to us because if we don't move down here by Christmas, we're going to fall apart. Everybody's going to go to we'll wind up not being able to get into school. We'll not have a job. We won't be able to celebrate the holidays with our Christmas tree and a new living room. Whatever that emotion is, whatever that motivation is, this is where you need to be. Why is that important to you, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer? Let them answer. Make sure you understand. Use your best listening techniques and then be an active listener. Active listening is when you go back and you're reiterating what they say. So what you're telling me, Mr. Buyer, is it's important because if you're not in your home for Christmas, Grandma and Grandpa can't come down and visit you in the beautiful southeast of Carolina. Is that important to you? Is that what you're saying? Yes, it is. This is when active listening starts coming in. Take a piece of paper, scroll down what they tell you, because every time that you run into a hurdle while you're out showing them houses, you want to revert back to why is this important to you? You know what, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer? If they're starting to stall you somewhere along your search, or you're getting into these impossible situations where the missus is saying, hey, the walls are blue, I wanted them yellow, I really can't do, stuff that really doesn't matter, then this is the time to go back to them and say, I think you asked me for a 4-bedroom house with 3 bathrooms on a cul-de-sac with a pool in the yard, and all these things match. Is there something else I don't know? Because you had told me you wanted to be in by Christmas so that grandma and grandpa can come down and celebrate the holidays with you. Is that still important to you? Yes, it is. Well, this might be the house that you're looking for. What do you think of that, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer? And let them tell you. These are the questions that you're going to continually bring up as you hit those roadblocks in your sales process. So find out, why is that important to them? And it's probably going to be because they have to do something or be somewhere, or some emotion is tied to it. All right. There's all different scenarios. Grandma and grandpa coming in, baby being born the month before, whatever that scenario is. Write it down, keep it in your head, because that's where your motivation, that's who you're going to be talking to as the days go on. Any questions there? Did I miss one? No. All right, question number 4. If we could add just one more thing to make this process even better, what would it be? I don't know. I got the best process in the world. What else could that be, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, or Mr. and Mrs. Buyer? This question it it unravels maybe what's the most important thing in their mind, what they're scared of. What is that one thing that I can do to make this process even better? What is the one thing I can do? It could be a wild thing. It could be, hey, you can find us a babysitter so we can go look at houses without an interruption. Had that happen years ago? You got a babysitter so that we don't have to drag the baby with us? Yep, I can do that. What could we could we ride in a car? Could you drive us here? Could you show me where, what the commuter route is from my work to the house? These are all things that are in their mind that when you break it down, it's that one more thing so where you can bring value to the deal, value to the conversation. This is where you want to go into. What is that one? Just one more thing to make this process even better. What would it be? Has anybody had a process there that somebody said, totally off the wall, this is what I want? If you can do this, I'm going to buy a house today. Anybody? Let me know, because I'd be interested. I think the biggest one I had was the babysitter. I got him a babysitter. I would have to go back through and really figure out which ones they were. But there's a lot of things in the back of people's minds. Some of them are crazy. Some of them are absolutely real. So make sure you ask this question. If we could add just one more thing to make this process even better, what would it be? Because I guarantee you, nobody else is asking them this question. All right, and it puts you ahead of a pack. Puts you ahead of the pack. Why is that important to you? How many times have we asked, why is that important to you? Always ask, why is that important to you? Why is it that it would be important to you to have a babysitter? Why would it be important to you that you drove me to the commuter, on the commuter route? Why is that important that you showed me where the hospital was? That's another big one. I dealt with a lot of seniors. Show me where the hospital is. Show me where the doctor's office is. Show me whatever. I mean, it's important. Why is that important to you? You know what? The reason it's important to me is my husband has an affliction. My husband only has 20 minutes to get back and forth to work. Around here, if you're dealing with Air Force people, they have a 20-minute response time. So their field of where they can buy is real important. Real important. So show me where I can live. Here, let's go here. Why is that important to you? Because I am on a ready response team. I have to be back at the air base in 20 minutes. How can I do that? So these are great questions that you need to ask. You need to ask your people. And as you go through the buyer consultation, and it's a lot longer, obviously, but as you go through the buyer conversation, you always go back to that motivation. When you're talking to somebody, you're always going back to the motivation. So if we can get you into your house by Christmas, that would work, correct? Yes, it would. Remind them of the motivation. There's 4 steps. And this is something that if you haven't taken Anna Kruger's course, you should. It's an ISA course, Inside Sales Agent, but it's meant for everybody. And she goes through 4 steps, and I've got them written right there because once in a while you got to look and go, you know what? Dig for motivation. You're talking to somebody on the phone. You got 12 minutes. 3 minutes, you got to dig for the motivation. And no matter where we are, that's the first step in any kind of sales. What's your motivation? Why are we doing this? Go back for the motivation. Reiterate that motivation anytime you hit a snag. Anytime you hit a snag. What else we got going on? So those are the 5 questions I use. You can find them. I'll be happy to send you a sheet of them. That's not a problem. Just drop us an email at greg@flanaganhometeam.com or greg@poweronwardmastermind.com, and I'll be happy to send you a sheet. What is the biggest challenge, people that are on there, what are the biggest challenge you're having with buyer expectations? We're slowing down. We're getting into a winter market. What are you seeing right now as far as buyer expectations during a buyer consultation? Are you doing a buyer's consultation? That's a great question too. Are you doing a buyer's consultation? Is it part of your your system? No? Okay. Not a problem. All right, listen, it's been a great day. It's a Friday. It's been a long week. We've been busy, busy, busy. If you need me, drop me a line. If I can do anything for you, drop me a line. If you'd like these 5 questions, drop me a line. If you want to go fishing, drop me a line. You want to go golfing, drop me a line. I'll do any of the 3 or 4. If you need somebody to teach a class, drop me a line. You want to do some coaching, drop me a line. All right. Have a wonderful, intent-filled, purposeful weekend. Remember, there are boundaries. Not everybody has to fit into your still concerned about finding a home. What, Maui? Let's go back here for a minute, being intentional and purposeful. We're coming up on the weekend. You don't need to work the whole weekend. You don't need to work past certain times. Put boundaries around who and where you want to work with this weekend. Okay, let's start practicing boundaries. I think boundaries are the most important things that you can do for yourself and for your client. Part of the consultation is boundaries. I work from Monday through Friday these times. I work Saturday half a day. Sunday I kind of take off, and that's my time and my time with my family. You're not going to get me during dinner. You're not going to get me during kids' soccer games. I want to be fully there for my kids and my family and my personal self. Remember, put you first. You want to play golf, go play golf. Leave your phone in the car. There's no reason to have a phone with you when you're playing golf. No reason to have a phone with you when you're playing tennis. That's your time. You need it to recharge. Do that. Okay. Super. Maui, still concerned about finding a home. What's that in response to? You still with me, girl? All right. She fell off the conversation. I'll answer that whenever you want me to. All right. Have a great weekend. Greg Flanagan. Enjoy your day.